Yes, indeed. Welcome to the first ever Marvel Movie Talk mini-sode. And if you know this show, a mini-sode might be only an hour and a half, but we're going to do our best to kind of hit it hard, as they say, as we react to these four Avengers Doomsday teaser trailers, which were for the most part attached to Avatar, Fire and Water. And I'll tell you how happy I was for which one I got attached to that. But as always, I am Christian Bladt. This is Marvel Movie Talk. We are on Geekscape. With us, as so often, he is the one, the only Count Eric Conner, the man responsible for getting Loki sauce into my life.
Yeah, that's the contraband I bring to my friends.
Yes, we appreciate that. And with us is one of America's top 5 favorite Brooklyn boys, David Brody.
Playing the center square today, the role of Paul Lind here in the middle. Thank you.
For a younger generation, we'll say that you're Jim J. Bullock or possibly Shadow Stevens, but we'll allow all of it.
Jim J. Bullock.
I was thinking of just recording this and posting it tomorrow, but I'm glad that we went live because, of course, our friend, the great Daniel Drew, is here, and he's talking about how it's time to watch the clock. Yeah, I know. We could stream snipe that clock countdown that they have running over there, which isn't even entirely
pitch.
out of there. And someone that I haven't seen in a while, the great Dominicus Saxon. He went and got himself a job even after he retired. He every time he thought he got out, they kept pulling him back in. Dominicus Saxon says, I wasn't crazy about this Fantastic Four version, but it looks like it's what the MCU is going forward with. Recently, Eric and I talked to a friend of ours who felt similarly on a stream that we did. And, I think our opinions on the Fantastic Four are well known to the audience of this show, but we welcome all opinions when it comes to that. So we're going to talk about, how we feel about each of these. And I got to make sure I show these in the right order, because the order they were released in is the order we want to watch them in. And they are definitely teaser trailers, because they are teasing you that you're going to really get a feel for what this movie is like. And I think we'll get enough. We're both mostly going on vibes on this one, guys. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but the fact that the first one, we know it's called Steve Rogers Will Return in Avengers Doomsday, that could be groundbreaking enough. I do get a very Smallville feel from this,
Also cool as ice, a little bit of a cool as ice vibe with that.
If you ain't true to yourself, you ain't true to nobody. So
drop with the zero, get with the hero.
Starring the great Robert Van Winkle, aka Vanilla Ice. And so I think that most of us thought that we would never see Steve Rogers again, that old man Steve in Endgame was the last we would see, but we see him with a baby. Assuming it's his,
Maybe
and he well, yeah, it's possible, but we assume that he and Peggy, well, that's where babies come from. And each one of these ends with, this one says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. And I do like how it's kind of become a meme for other things that will be returning in Avengers Doomsday. And these all end with the little countdown clock. And our buddy Ivan Soto appreciated the Smallville shout out. And he'll talk about one of the other ones. Selfish Steve can burn. Well, I'm excited to see him. That's a fact, Jack. But as you're seeing this for the first time, I'll ask you first, Eric. What was your thought about okay, so we're gonna get Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. They're not gonna do another Human Torch to us.
I mean, I kind of want the prequel scene where how that baby got made. I'm not sure how it works when you have super serum in you. So I think we're owed that.
Steve and Peggy will return in YouPorn.
will come again.
Hey, maybe we'll find out how
Avengers
she got the name Peggy.
Endgame.
I didn't think we
Ring
had
the
time.
bell,
I didn't
the
think we had
locust
time
off.
for it, but
Oh,
I mean, if
it's
you're
a
going to
little
say that,
muted.
but your thoughts, Mr. Brody?
I couldn't
Yeah.
be more excited. I mean,
Yeah.
the Marvel Universe has not been the same without this actor, this character. Thank you, Daniel Drew. Iron Man and Captain America were the heart and soul of the MCU. And so to get Robert Downey Jr. back and to get Chris Evans back as a young Captain America is fantastic. And to go back to when he went back to is a great way to bring the actor back in. I love it. I've got very excited to see him again, especially after the lackluster Captain America movie we watched this past year. No offense to Sam Wilson, who's a great actor and a character, but to see Cap back was fantastic.
Yes.
One can. Well,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. One thing I was gonna say, like one issue or concern I had, not even an issue, but like I agree in that when people, they're bringing back the Russo brothers, like, well, yeah, they directed some of the best Marvel movies there's been, so I don't see the problem there. They're bringing back Captain America. It's like, well, again, such great casting, such a great role, really beautifully portrayed Captain America from that first movie. My concern is they gave him such a perfect ending, and as Sex and the City has taught all of us, is sometimes you can break something that's already been fixed. The ending of the Sex and the City series was one I know Christian and I were both very big fans of.
Yeah.
And then the movie has to undo the bow that they put on the gift. So that's my concern. Again, not an issue, but I'm glad I'm going to see him again. I'm with you on this. I am not a cynical man. But I worry that it's like, wow, they really did something beautiful with his character, and now it's like, psych, you're coming back, kid. Sorry.
Yeah, there's when you have what is essentially a perfect ending, and then you go back in on it, and William Shatner did that, feeling that Star Trek Generations shouldn't have ended the way it did. And some of us would say that perhaps that film shouldn't have a lot of things. And then he wrote like 3 novels that that undid that. To have a hip, modern reference for young people, this was done with the TV. This was done with the TV series Magnum PI. They had a perfect series finale. And then CBS is like, hey, you think you can? So he dies and he walks away in heaven, and there's John Denver song playing and everything. This is when John Denver was still with us.
Keeping those references, keep them coming.
Well, that's why I'm telling the story. Daniel Drew is like, I got to Google all this stuff.
Does Shadow Stevens show up in this?
No, but Alf does. The interesting thing, of course, is that CBS is like, hey, how about you give us 22 more of these? Oh, and here's the thing we didn't ask you for. Let's make them really bad, and let's have the ending just be like, oh, that's all right. So it's very dangerous territory, but I do think that I will continue to be excited for it. FX Sim in the chat, will the Avengers address Steve Rogers as Cap? It'll be interesting to see if they recognize Sam Wilson as Cap and not Steve Rogers anymore. If I had to guess, the workaround is you just call him Steve, not to be confused with Steve from Minecraft, which is the only Steve in my household.
What about Steve from Stranger Things?
I have not been convinced that I need to pick that back up from season 2. So
it's a tremendous show.
Yeah.
By the way, they did kill Dexter, spoiler, and they gave him a farewell ending twice, and they brought him back a third time.
Yeah. See, these are perfect examples of things like that. By the way, Dominica Saxon, this makes me laugh. I'm just glad. Yeah, Brody, can you do me a favor and read that for me? Because I'm looking for something right now.
I'm just glad that Miami Vice ended perfectly and they left it alone.
Yeah, I think that's what we were all hoping for, whether or not that's the case, we're getting another reboot movie of that,
That last one was so good. You can only go up from there.
Well, I mean, I think I think that's probably the way to do it.
As long as Dakota Johnson plays the role of Don Johnson's character, then it's a hit.
Yeah,
because she's gold, box office gold.
Well, again, see, this is getting us into the dangerous territory of how I was trying to do a short show, but Miami
we haven't
Vice
even started the podcast yet about the trailers, really.
Well, we've shown. Excuse me. We've shown one, so we're a quarter of the way there. We're 10 minutes in, which is why I'm saying that we're gonna get to 40 minutes, and I think that's still a mini-sode for this show.
Join us next week when we talk about trailer 2.
Does anybody remember my old boss Dennis Miller's joke about Philip Michael Thomas and the series finale of Miami Vice? The series finale of Miami Vice will air Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. And if anyone notices that at 10:01 an imperceptible slowing of the Earth on its axis, it would be because at that very moment Philip Michael Thomas fell off the face of the Earth. So he did say later he felt bad about it, but
he wasn't wrong.
That's a perfect joke.
Dude, he's never been bigger. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Speaking of never bigger, Thor. We knew Thor would return after Love and Thunder, didn't we, Eric? Remember when we went to go see that?
It was so obvious that when you do a fourth movie, that there's only you got to keep going until you hit 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
So no, Thor will never.
Oh yeah,
die.
this is what I meant to do for the first one. Actually, I don't think they spoke in the first trailer because I just realized I'm like I put the So we're hearing from Thor. But fate has given him something that he never thought it would. I think that the answer is sauce made by his brother.
They turned my brother into sauce.
A life untouched by the storm. Lend me the strength of the All-Fathers. And there he is. Still a handsome devil. I mean, good God. If only you could take all the handsomeness that the three of us offer, and we're still not even 1/100th of a Chris Hemsworth or even a Liam Hemsworth. I'm gonna sell ourselves short.
Maybe he's actually just wants to go back to Peggy Carter.
Who does? Thor?
Thor. Yeah. I mean,
Thor.
That was enough reason for Captain America to stick around. Maybe Thor's just trying to get some strange.
Well, and Jane Foster. No, I'm sorry. Benedict Cumberbatch is not in this, so he can't get any strange. But in any case,
nicely done.
Yeah, that's why it's there. That's why it's right there. Got that itchy trigger finger. By the way, listen, we're doing this. This is very late that we're recording it for people listening to the podcast. It's nothing, but it is. It is 11:30 in Chicagoland, and the great Cammy Egan is checking in. So we appreciate that. And there's some other comments we'll get to in a little bit. So this one, I think, is in no way surprising. I mean, Thor's got a kid, I guess. So is it
who he loves?
Did Jane Foster have a kid that I don't remember?
No,
remember that Sif was his wife at one point, but they never really did much with it.
Yeah, this is
Christian Bale's kid.
Christian Bale's kid. Sorry, the other white Christian.
Yeah, it was like you said Christian Blatt's kid. I'm like, I mean, if Thor wants to raise my kids, they will turn out way better.
Yeah, Thor adopted the kid from Gore.
But yes, I honestly forgot that. So there's also, when we get to the fourth trailer, there was a lot of stuff I forgot. So I had to look a couple things up. But we'll get there.
Well, so you never saw any of these before, Christian. What are you talking about?
No. I said I saw that. Well, I'm not pretending that I haven't.
I would imagine the fourth trailer has one thing you didn't forget.
Yes. I don't think you deserved it, but I want to move along. Brody, Thor, like the South, will come again. Thor, like the South, is a daddy. Your thoughts on this trailer, in a vacuum by itself?
I think it portends to show that Thor is back to being serious Thor, and Thor is going to be the Thor that shoved an axe into Thanos' shoulder and cut his head off later on. I think this is angry, vengeful, malicious Thor that we've been wanting to see for a while. His hair is short. He's serious. And the fact that he has Stormbringer when he gave that to Love tells me that Love is not around, which goes into the theme of the kids being taken. And so I am excited with Thor. And who knows, he may need his brother to help him, which will be a nice reuniting of the two of them. So I'm excited for Thor, serious Thor, lovable Thor.
I love Ragnarok funny Thor, but okay, again, when we want to get things bogged down in minutia, that's really kind of just for the three of us. I feel like Thor Ragnarok was Star Trek 4 funny. I think Thor Love and Thunder was Star Trek 5 funny. And if you're a Trekkie, good. You know exactly what I'm saying. right now, Katie, our pal Katie, is like, yes, exactly. She couldn't be with us tonight. She had plans because it's a Saturday night.
She decided to go out of her house.
So any specific thoughts you have, Mr. Conner?
It seems like this is not the Thor listening to just Guns N' Roses and no other songs from the last movie. Unless maybe now it's... Wait, I'm sorry, Christian, go ahead.
Just like the same 3 songs from Appetite for Destruction. Not even anything from Use Your Illusion. No spaghetti incident.
Spaghetti incident. Well, that's what I was going to say. I think this is spaghetti incident Thor. So he's been there. He's seen some things.
So the bonus track of a Charlie Manson cover. Yeah, maybe. Just maybe. What were you going to say?
Are we skipping over the Lies EP? Are we just skipping over that? I used to love her, but I had to kill her.
Have some patience.
Just a little patience.
Well, like I always say, Brody, you are 1 in a million. So obviously that has a lot to do with it. Daniel Drew wants to know that I love this. Did Thor get a house? What were they in at the end of Love and Thunder? Was it a house? I feel like Thor could probably, get himself. He could move right in.
He went to the banker. He my favorite character from the series. Yes, that guy's coming back in Endgame or in Doomsday.
I didn't really. By the way, where is your Photoshop for the banker will return in Avengers Doomsday?
I know that it hit me today. I should have had that at the right.
I mean, look, we're all hitting the ground a little slowly in 2026. FX Sim says, I think we'll see Valhalla in Doomsday. I love this theory. Thor dies and comes back from Valhalla supercharged as Rune King Thor. Rune King is one of my favorite Counting Crows songs, but I think that he was already supercharged in Love and Thunder. But I guess we will have to see. I love that question about a house, though. I don't really have a good answer.
The only thing he can't believe. You could believe he has powers. He can control lightning and thunder, but the idea that he could get a mortgage in this market and economy, one step too far.
Hey, Sam Wilson couldn't get a mortgage.
I remember
when all of a sudden when you're when you're immortal, a 50-year mortgage actually doesn't sound so bad.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So.
Now, you know what? It's still a bad idea. The interest is insanity, even for him.
Yeah. Dominica Saxon wants to know, what does Thor need with a starship? I mean, it just makes life a little easier.
Jefferson or a regular starship?
Jefferson. Thank you. I was going to say.
This is Starship because we did build this city on rock and roll. FX Sim, Thor 4 was trash. A fairly common opinion. Taika Waititi did a great job with Ragnarok, but Love and Thunder was trash. My breakdown on that, I don't expect everybody to much less watch all of our reactions to everything, but actually remember, was as he says many times in the film, it was just another classic Thor adventure, and I was able to have fun with it. Was it great? Nah, not really, but I did have fun with it. I just wished the soundtrack hadn't been quite so lazy. And FX Sim had a thought to answer Daniel Drew's question. Imagine that's Thanos' house from Endgame where he died from Thor's decapitation. He's like, I guess we just live here, right?
Wasn't that like Wasn't that like a lean-to? It didn't even have a fourth wall. You could just walk right in.
Yeah.
I don't think that was his house.
Daniel Drew says the banker is the next Thanos. He wields the eternity pen, a pen that never loses ink because it takes the ink from the pen's own past and future. Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
that's how you rewrite history.
That is how you rewrite. It's a quote from DuckTales. I just thought of it. I'm like, wait, I think Brody's quoting the DuckTales theme.
It's more Darkwing Duck.
Well, woo to you as well. So, this was the trailer that I saw attached to Avatar, meaning that I saw this trailer IMAX 3D. Jealous? And this is the one I would have wanted to see IMAX 3D. So I haven't even hit play yet. And I think we can see this. And we all know what this is. Brody, did you have any doubt what you were looking at when you see this image? And again, I haven't even hit play for our audio audience.
Can't make out the image.
You can't tell what that is. All right, Eric Conner, did you see this
on my computer screen? I can't.
Yeah. No. Well, the second I saw it, I was just immediately getting Days of what's it? Oh my God, X-Men
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past. Yeah,
I completely got that vibe really quickly, even before we saw all the as we say in Yiddish, all the Altakakas.
Look, I've been around a few multi-million-dollar estates in Westchester, not really, but so I know they have a very specific look. And before we had any voiceover, I was like, oh shit, I know that mansion anywhere. It's on Grey Malkin Lane. I've been reading classic adventures set in this place since 1983. Yeah, I'm old. Get used to it. And just getting some voiceover and seeing the old old wheelchair, and
they're still playing that same freaking game of chess.
Wow, they're so evenly matched, and I love punk rock hair, Sir Ian McKellen, and I got to go to you first on this, Eric, because of the simple fact that, yes, it says the X-Men will return in Avengers Doomsday. But the importance, I think, for you and I, that we got Cyclops in this. Please, Eric, take it away.
We finally got the Cyclops that is in the comics and is in the X-Men cartoons. And somehow he was always the cuck in the X-Men movies, even killing him off screen, which was the ultimate insult, because he, God forbid, got a job in Warner Brothers.
Who did they think he was? Admiral Akbar? That we needed to kill him off camera?
Yeah, Admiral Akbar didn't even get a proper death, and neither did Cyclops. And for us who were legitimate readers of the comic, which is all three of us from that era, and I know where Christian will go, where Cyclops broke all our hearts and was a really piss poor husband to his wife with the new baby. But this moment here gives me hope that maybe Cyclops just always needed the Russo brothers to finally get unleashed.
And we've got the at least a glimpse of a comic book accurate Scott Summers. By the way, James Marsden is usually the cuck. If you remember, he was J. Jonah Jameson's kid in I think the second Spider-Man movie, and he was cucked there. And it's not Sonic, but there's like a third franchise where he was like off in the corner in the cuck chair, and I can't think of what it is right now, but maybe someone in the chat will.
Let me ask AI.
What
was the third series of movies where James Marsden was the cuck? I'm waiting.
Please let me know what answer you get when it comes
Jury
to that.
Duty on Freevee or whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, here it is. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
No. Actually, Ivan Soto has it. The film Enchanted.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Ivan Soto. I knew there was another movie, but it just wasn't. I didn't prepare my thoughts on this. And I can't use the excuse that it's after midnight like Brody can. It's only 9:30.
Wasn't he also in a Cookwork Orange?
That was for you.
Cuck raking.
That's the best Roger Moore James Bond film is
Tremendous film.
Cuckraker is actually.
Cuckraker!
So
That's not the
Brody,
song.
Brody. No, that could be the song for all of them. A view to a kill. You know, really.
A view to a cuck.
Yeah.
His name was Cuck. He loves
View
to be Cuck.
A View to a Cuck is, of course, the greatest Duran Duran song. Which
tomorrow.
has anybody seen the Bone Temple yet? By the way, just me.
I lived it
Because I couldn't go. I couldn't go as late as.
Is that an adult film?
Yeah.
When you go in the wrong, if you go a little west into Hollywood, sure.
As a Jew, I've been to a lot of temples. I don't think I've been to that one.
Yeah. Well.
Not from lack of trying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was very excited. All right, if Cam Hagen's playing along with "Living That Cuck," we're having fun there. We're having a lot of fun there.
Cuck another day.
If I don't look in the private chat right away, I never know what the hell you're talking about in there. So I'm really glad that I went over there. I don't even know what we were talking about. I'm excited to see the X-Men. We have multiple Katies that have been a part of the show. My pal Katie Kawamoto would have joined us, but apparently all the young people have on the West Coast have things to do on a Saturday night. So Nate couldn't be with us. Katie Hampton couldn't be with us. The other kid. So it's just us. So that's all right. This is how I'd kind of want to be feeling about that.
Yes. Anyone that would understand a Paul Lynde reference is out tonight.
I mean, if you want to talk about the series finale of Magnum PI, and I think a lot of people are thinking what Daryl Gilmore is thinking right now. Wow, this is horrible. And you're not wrong. But it's our kind of horrible. So if you don't like it, just beat it. Let's see. Oh, the Bears tomorrow. Yeah, the Bears. And it's a bit of a surprising Saturday in the NFL. You guys want to hear hot takes? Tune in later. Okay, we're gonna talk about these trailers.
Bills.
So, I have I have people in Rochester that I should probably check in on as to how they're all doing. But
you should also talk to your friends in Denver who lost their quarterback for the season.
Yeah, but they won the game. So
but they won't win next week.
How did he keep playing?
There's only one more play after that, but I know what you're saying. So
Drugs.
That is the first three. And there is a comment about, are all the old X-Men going to die? They announced new X-Men movie with a younger cast. Listen, we've already seen Charles Xavier die in Logan. So I assume this timeline will be, a little bit earlier than that, but also this could be a different Charles. But do you have something to add, Brody?
Yeah, he also died in Multiverse of Madness. He's died twice.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But we knew that was an alternate one.
The Last Stand, Days of Future Past. Yeah, no, he's gone through it.
Yeah, definitely.
He died in one of the Star Wars movies, I think, didn't he? The Borg got him. Yeah.
You're trying to upset people by saying Star Wars when you mean Star Trek, and I'm not going to take your bait. I refuse to take your bait on that.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Yeah, I know. That's otherwise I'm gonna let Eric talk more about how happy he is about New York's real football team. But we don't need to get into any of this.
The Buffalo Bills are the only New York football team. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, and Daniel Drew, we've seen him die 4 times, 5 times. I mean, if you want to add comic books into it, I mean, we got the delightful, the wonderful Age of Apocalypse, all because Legion went back in time to kill Magneto, and whoopsie daisy, killed his own dad. So
he's kind of like Kenny. He basically just dies every episode.
Yeah, there was I think. Yeah, I can't find it now because I starred a bunch of chats, but not the one I'm looking for right now. But Kim Egan, I know you were excited for the X-Men one, And I think that they were doing a good job with the build of these. Daniel Drew, I know you feel like they didn't necessarily release these in the right order. I don't think this one should have been fourth. The one that is the fourth that we're about to look at. I think the X-Men is the one. I think Thor should have been first, then Steve, then the one we're about to watch, and then the X-Men. But we can talk more about that forthwith, as some would say. So we have our fourth trailer, and I've been fairly clear that Wakanda Forever was not my favorite MCU film, and there were some major plot points that I forgot. The fact that M'Baku is the king. No. I mean, I remember that Namor was in it, but this one like looks beautiful. I mean, there's like so much. There's so much in each and every shot. It's got exotic locations, and it does have a team up.
Taking any vaccines?
Nobody cares about that anymore. That's she just waited long enough. If only Evangeline Lilly was healthy, she would have been fine. But I think she's got some legitimate concerns. So the Wakandans and the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. So that is exciting. I think that the moment that I think we all appreciate is Ben from Yancey Street between Broome and Grand, which is not practically Brooklyn, and it's certainly not the Staten Island ferry. But the idea of getting this crossover and the importance of the Namor character to the Fantastic Four, something that does get touched on throughout various alternate realities of the FF. But Brody, seeing this fourth trailer, what are your thoughts? We get Shuri, we get Namor, and we get the Thing.
Well, I would say we're guaranteed that Sue Storm gives a wink and a nod to Namor at some point, where she alludes to finding him attractive, even though she's with child. I will also say that Shuri's comment that she's lost everyone she loved, I would assume that means young T'Challa has been taken, because who else does she love? Everyone else is dead, and he would be the only one left that she would practically love. So I imagine he was taken, and either he's going to get aged up and become the next Black Panther somehow in this movie, or we'll get a Black Panther from another universe. But I imagine he's the child. There's no child in this trailer, right? Yeah. You assume Scott and Jean's child, maybe Rachel from the alternate universe, who has the Phoenix Force, was taken.
Yeah.
So I imagine from that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Eric, I know you need to run, so I want to make sure I let you get any final thoughts in Jerry Springer style. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Well, one to grow on for all of you. Very much agree. Like the theory that this is all about the children, the weapon style is more and more feeling like a certainty with each one of these. I think this first movie is going to be like the way they're setting it up. It's like thinking like Avengers Endgame, but like tenfold in terms of how many. Avengers Infinity War tenfold. Like how many threads they're going to have to grab, like Loki and his sauce out there, keeping time straight. Like it's a lot of setup that we're going to need here, and we've only seen a chunk of the characters. We haven't even gotten into like the Thunderbolt end of this. So I think they were smart of how they've set this up. Part of me, it sounds crazy. I don't know how they do this as 2 films instead of 3, with just how many balls they're juggling right now. And I'm here for all the balls, as you know, Christian.
I do know that. I do think Disney heard what you just said. 3 movies, you say?
Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2 will do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to see. And Eric Conner will return in Avengers Doomsday, but also I believe January 30th we'll be covering the first 2 episodes of Wonder Man. Yes. So we will see you then. Thank you. Count Eric Conner. All of a sudden the show just got better. Let's be honest.
Are we doing the Friday show? Is that confirmed?
Well, I got to check in with everybody. Is really I'm kind of saying right now I think it'll be that day, but
it might be my birthday that evening, but I would rather spend it with no one else other than you guys. So.
My birthday is Super Bowl Sunday, and it is a milestone. And I'm trying to I'm trying to pretend that I'm not hitting a milestone.
Never, you know what? You don't look 70. If that makes you feel any better.
I appreciate that. Wait, unless you're going to say I look 80. Yeah.
Well,
Kemi Egan, I was a bit sad with the Wakandans in Fantastic Four. I think Doom is talking to Namor in the teaser. I didn't think that. And now that you say it, we can kind of get back to where we see Namor. And he could definitely be in conversation with Doom, looking to strike some kind of a deal, a partnership, or possibly just get him to buy a timeshare in Latveria. Any of these things are entirely possible. So Brody, I know that you tend to look at these things sort of through a jeweler's loop. Perhaps you even do like a Zapruder film style breakdown, and much like OPP, you take it frame by frame it. What are your thoughts? Again, if you're gonna like lean into the non-contemporary references, let's do it. What are your thoughts on these 4 trailers now as sort of building upon each other, and now having 4 minutes of footage, let's say 3.5 minutes really, from Avengers Doomsday?
Well, let me disagree with a point you made earlier. I think the Captain America one had to be first because Thor, no surprise, doesn't get anyone talking. X-Men, they knew they were going to be in the movie, but the biggest surprise is Captain America returning. And I think by putting him in the first trailer, now you've gotten everybody's interest. Who else are they going to reveal? And it really was nobody. It really didn't reveal anybody shocking. We knew all the other characters who would be in it. I think these are not independent. I think they clearly show the pattern of child theft. There's a child theme in all of these. Why else would Scott be this upset? Now, in the movies, he didn't have a child, right? In none of the X-Men movies, I don't recall them having a child in the movies, correct?
No, they haven't. I mean, it's very easy to, Cable came from somewhere, and doesn't you don't have to have, you don't have to have it be Madeline. It can be Jean. So yeah, I agree.
Right. But in X-Men 97, they have a child, right? And then of course it becomes Cable. So it's either going to be Cable, but here's a theory I saw and I like it. And the theory is that these are all children that shouldn't have existed. And so, like, for instance, Steve Rogers' kid shouldn't exist. He went back in time and had a child that shouldn't exist. And Love was dead, and Gore went to eternity and brought her back to life.
Yeah.
And if Rachel Summers is the child from Days in Future Past, where she's a product of an alternate timeline birth, then she shouldn't have existed.
You can also argue that Cable shouldn't exist for times that Jean has died, even in continuity. I think both Famke Johnson and Sophie Turner's Jeans died briefly and came back. I do want to comment on something that Ivan said, no child theme in the 4th trailer. That's what was said earlier. If you remember, what I did remember about Wakanda Forever was T'Challa's child. So that child could have been taken by Namor, by Doom, by someone else entirely. So yeah, I think that that is definitely very likely, and it makes sense. Franklin Richards also shouldn't necessarily exist because their world should have been eaten by Galactus. The Russos said that these are telling a story, and I've heard ideas that Doom is probably in each teaser. I could see that, like when we see these scenes, Doom's actually in each of these scenes. I could certainly be that. I mean, why is he even called Cable? I mean, it's ask Rob Liefeld. I don't have an answer to that.
Ask anyone who's seen him naked, I suppose.
And Daniel's enjoying all of this, and he liked that I pointed out Franklin, and of course Cam Egan. I agree with the children theory, but I think Steve created the incursion since he stayed in a timeline he wasn't supposed to be in. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Steve should not.
Okay, but let's not forget that Monica Rambeau creates an incursion by ending up in the X-Men universe, which brings them into it. So that's another universe. That's another probably why the X-Men universe is going to collide because of that incursion. So I think what Doom's plan is either to use the children to stop the incursion or to take over from the TVA, since the TVA doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. Maybe he has to prune the children that shouldn't exist or that can somehow cause an incursion in some way.
Yeah. And, when we were showing all the director's chairs with everyone, who was going to be in this film, remind me, Brody, we saw that Tom Hiddleston was going to be in this, right? I mean, that is not something.
I believe so.
Yeah. I feel like that's the case, that's what's going on. And by the way, I did say this when Eric was still with us, but the countdown clock is running constantly. So either way, if we're dealing with this, this TVA stuff, I do think that Loki himself, not just the sauce, will make. By the way, 10 months, 29 days, 22 hours, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds really doesn't sound that far off, does it, Brody?
It sounds like a song from Rent. But yes, my. By the way, in reference to the conversation we had earlier about Captain America had a great ending and they're bringing him back, it will be 8 years, 7 years from the time he was old Captain, old Steve, to when they bring him back as young Steve from the past. 7 years is a long time for him to be out of the MCU. Where I'm okay with them bringing him back because they're bringing back. They're not touching. It's like Logan died in Hugh Jackman, right? Old Man Steve is still going to be Old Man Steve. They're just following Captain America, who didn't really have an ending. Young Captain America went back in time, and now we're going to go follow him. So I don't feel like that ruins the ending.
No.
And also 7 years go by. It's not like they did it a year later and they were like, we were kidding.
Right. Yeah. It's not, announcing a farewell tour. And then while you're on your farewell tour, beginning to sell tickets for your Vegas residency. I'm looking at you, Brody. I know that you were trying to do a farewell
and Motley Crue and Kiss, the three of us all.
Yeah. Like Motley Crue, you signed a contract that you would never perform again. Dominica Saxon makes the point. I'm not swallowing anything called Loki sauce. It's your loss.
Tom Hiddleston's an attractive man. I would.
Taylor Swift would disagree. FX Sims says, "What does Loki sauce taste like?"
That's not what he wrote.
It tastes like a frost giant. It's probably.
It tastes like treason.
So listen, these are fun trailers. I would, if I could buy a ticket to seeing all four of them in IMAX 3D, I would definitely do that. But I'm feeling good. The whole thing, I'm still one of those naysayers that I really didn't need Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. There are plenty of other actors. He was Tony Stark. And if he's not going to be Tony Stark, you're going to have to really sell me on this. But I'm sold on the movie. I'm sold on a lot of these elements, especially once you put the X-Men into it. And I'm always open to seeing, there was a point that I had gotten to a point where I'm like, well, I can't doubt the MCU anymore until they've been proven wrong. Well, they've been proven wrong kind of in those 8 years you're talking about. Not constantly, but a number of times.
Yeah, here and there.
Yeah. Poor Kamal Nanjiani signing a deal for like 5 movies and a video game and a TV series. And then he ended up in one movie.
Terrible.
Yeah. But I do want to get some comments from the chat before we say goodnight. I'd assume this is Daniel Drew. I'd assume Old Man Steve from Endgame has lived through all the events of these upcoming Avengers movies already. It's very possible, but when you start dealing with a multiverse, it could be anything. Kemi Egan, I've always questioned how Cap got to be an old man because he stayed a young man after being thawed. The timeline he went to make him age. The thinking has always been, since I think it's Avengers #4, that the original Volume 1 Avengers 4 from like 1962, that being on ice just froze Steve's body and his internal organs. And then once he thawed out, it just all started working again. I know what you're saying. It's not the most logical thing, but I do believe that he would have aged normally had he not been frozen. But I don't know. He had super soldier serum in there. And Daniel Drew wants to point out in the X-Men teaser, one of the lines is one that Lady Death said in Agatha, as well as some music from the show, evidently. I didn't notice any of that. And I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Brody?
Just that Steve Rogers, when he goes back in time, let's say he's in his 30s, maybe?
Yeah, I think he's in his 30s, sure.
He goes back 80 years. So Old Man Steve is like 110, which even for a super soldier, you look pretty good, you know? Wow. So he could have been 110, 115. We also don't know if Old Man Steve was from 20 years in the future and came back to give Sam the shield. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, he had Pym particles with him. So he could have been coming back from 2045 for all we know to give him the shield, because he knows Sam needs the shield for the upcoming war.
I just hope Steve didn't abuse his age too much and every year submit a picture of himself to Willard Scott to get a happy birthday on the Today Show, because with a name like Smuckers, it's got to be good. Steve, don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, so FX Sim is making the point you are. He lived like 100+ years when he came back. Yeah, so I do think that these are questions that will be answered in Avengers Doomsday, which is December 18th, which is almost exactly 11 months away. No, 10, well, 10, 29, 22.
I did see a fantastic video on TikTok, which I should send you.
Please.
It was Captain America and Peggy over and over again in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. And she's like, Steve, isn't it great that with all the trouble going on in Korea, we'll never get involved in that? And she's like, the Vietnam thing is going on. Good thing we're never gonna get involved in that. And he's like trying to keep from saying anything. And at one point, it's like the 90s, and she says, Steve, darling, I'm thinking of investing in all of our money, our life savings, into a company. We can either invest in a company called Amazon or a company called like
Pets.com.
Yeah, it was something dopey. Okay. And he's like, he's shaking because he can't say anything. And so you think about it, he would like all the tragedies he would know that are coming, 9/11 and Son of Sam and whatever. And he couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't say anything because he'd screw up the timeline. So he couldn't tell Peggy anything. And Peggy's got to be going, well, Steve, you know what's going to happen. We could bet on the Super Bowl. We could bet on whatever events, the World Series. And he has to. I don't know. I don't remember anything. I mean, how does he not fight crime? How does he not?
Yeah. He could have stopped 9/11, or at the very least, made NASA do an extra round of checks on the Challenger. So there's a lot of questions there.
Exactly, and he let it all happen.
Dominicus Saxon pretty much nails this. He could have stopped New Coke and did nothing. I'm not gonna lie, I liked New Coke. It was a little sweeter. I don't know that I preferred it, but I thought it tasted pretty good. Yeah.
New Coke played a very important role in American history.
Tell me more.
It made everyone appreciate Coke again, because and the sales went up, and it's been #1 ever since. And it's the greatest failed attempt at rebranding in the history of marketing, other than the Miami Vice movie, right?
Yes, nice callback.
Right.
Well, you thanks to Dominicus Saxon, have touched a nerve of something that I have very strong feelings about. On the one hand, some feel that it was intentionally done to renew interest in what was then called Classic Coke, because Pepsi had really been gaining on them, and then they never looked back. The conspiracy theory that I've had people poke holes in, but I'm going to stand by because I don't want the facts to get in the way, was that they were going to switch over to high fructose corn syrup, and they couldn't just one day all of a sudden they're not using cane sugar anymore. They're using the high fructose corn syrup. So they needed to have sort of an elaborate show of it coming back. Now, I've been told that they had already made the change before this. So, but that's a theory I had for a long time. Does anybody care? I don't know. The idea is that Steve, I guess, you know what, when you time travel, he's got a great point. This is something they talk about on Doctor Who. There are fixed points that you can't do anything about. You can try to stop and change certain things. I feel like to some extent they've talked about it in Star Trek, where you can't go back in time and kill baby Hitler because.
Have we not learned anything though from Quantum Leap?
Well, that's of course, leaping around, trying to put right what once went wrong and hoping each time that the next leap will be the leap home. I'm with you. And I know Dominicus Saxon likes when we talk about Quantum Leap. So,
and if you can't go back in time and change points of history, then you can't stop Thanos.
It's a great point. I did see Dr. Sam Beckett teach Michael Jackson how to moonwalk in an episode of Quantum Leap. So I think that there are some things that need to be done.
And we all saw Michael J. Fox teach Chuck Berry how to play guitar. So
it was his cousin Marvin, but Marvin picked up the phone and said,
"Yeah, called.
You know that new sound you're looking for.
Yep.
Well, listen to this. The one pun." Great friend of many shows that I do. At what point would Steve have met Larry Flint and Hugh Hefner? I don't think he would run in those circles. He just wanted to settle down with Peggy. I think that's what he really wanted. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about Wonder Man in a second. The Wonder Man teasers and film footage have been amazing and such fun to watch. The in-universe interviews and such. I'm excited about some of the cast in that, and it's going to be very different. I'm a little disappointed that Disney Plus is going Echo style and they're going to drop all 8 episodes at once.
Yeah,
I will let everybody know that our show will not be covering all 8 episodes at once. Whoever is a part of our show, I'm going to ask them to only watch 2 episodes at a time because in the old AfterBuzz TV days, I did a number of the Netflix Marvel shows, and I went ahead and then I was trying to cover things and not being able to remember what had happened in the episodes is the kind of work I don't want to do. Can it be done? Sure. Yeah, but I don't want to. That's all I'm saying. By the way,
otherwise we're no better than Captain America in the 50s when he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, it just, he could have stopped Fat Elvis is what I'm trying to say, Hey,
put the banana sandwich down, Elvis. Just put it down.
You don't have to deep fry it. Can we put it on? Can we put it on some whole wheat? Maybe a pumpernickel. Just something. It would get your flavor a different way. That is so. All 8 episodes are going to drop on January 29th. And at the moment, our plan is to cover 2 of them on Friday, January 30th. That is subject to change. Depending on availability of our all-star regulars, but so expect that, but make sure you follow us on social media because I'll be making sure to let everybody know. Dominicus Saxon says, I'm not saying my real name is Sam Beckett, but I'm not saying it either. He really has leapt around the chats on my shows over time.
Didn't Beckett write Waiting for Godot?
He sure did. Yes.
Well, good. Or Gal Gadot, however.
Waiting for Gal Gadot. And the one pun does have a point. I probably would have gone to Studio 54. I would have wanted to be there the night. There's a picture of Alice Cooper and Edith Bunker and Gene Stapleton. It took me a minute. I know. So yeah, there's some stories I'd like to get to the bottom of. Anyway,
well, Ozzy was there one night with her. That was the night he bit the head off a dingbat.
Waiting for Guffman. Thank you, Kimmy. I did bill this as a mini-sode, remember? And I told you that I thought it was going to be 40. But here's the thing. Eric leaving took all the urgency away from trying to wrap it up on time. Once Eric was like, I mean, now at this point, I feel like this clock is just counting down when this episode's going to end. Let's see what we could do. Daniel Drew says, I wonder if we see She-Hulk or Matt in the show if Wonder Man gets in trouble for hiding or using his powers after signing the contract. I saw clickbait that said Tatiana Maslany was not She-Hulk anymore, and I think she said somewhere that that's not true. I don't know if we'll see She-Hulk again. I don't think that people are clamoring for it the way they are the Return of the X-Men, but
it's close. It's close.
So listen, we just thought it would be fun to do a short stream that ended up not being quite so short to start off 2026. Earlier, FX Sim said, I wish we'd see Moon Knight in any Avengers movie. I would like that story to continue. I'd be very interested in that. And interactions.
Isn't he going to be in? He's going to be in Midnight Suns. What's the with Ghost Rider and Blade?
What
group they're in?
Let's see if that ever happens.
Yeah.
Dominica Saxton asked Kama Egan, I drive past a place called Egan Machine sometimes for work. Any relatives in Idaho? No, I don't have any relatives in Idaho, but I dig the name of the business. See, I want to make sure that these questions get answered.
Look at us bringing people together and also getting a reference in for Idaho.
Yeah. Well, that's where Dominica Saxon lives. And any license plate that puts famous potatoes on it is good for me. All of the show's characters we want in movies. I want to see everybody, Moon Knight included. In any case, that's our little bit of a breakdown of these 4 trailers. Just wanted to brush off the cobwebs a little bit and make sure that we still know how to do this when it's go time for Wonder Man. But in the meantime, Brody, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on the Brooklyn Boys podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on social media at David Brody, and you can find me on most podcasts that Christian invites me on. So find me here.
Yeah. I know. I should start using one of those links that works for everything, because then you could just pop into shows that I don't invite you on. And we went back to this because Daniel Drew asked if I saw the sentinel legs surrounding Scott Summers, and this is of course referring to the X-Men trailer. So now I didn't notice this, but I'm going to try and stop it, and we'll rewind it. And don't worry, we will finish. It just feels silly to do a show less than an hour at this point. I can't call it a mini-sode anymore. I have to change the title of this episode. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I'm wondering if the Sentinels are Trask or the Sentinels are Doom created.
That's a great point. But yes, we do see 2 gigantic, legs behind Scott. That's a good catch, Dominica Saxon. I did not see that. And the one punt says they're in the back and to the left as he fires.
Okay, Zabruta.
So then this could be sort of a future past-ish sort of X-Men that we're seeing. I don't know if I want to spoil this. You're asking, Kemi is asking if Morris is going to be in Wonder Man and not the 9 Lives talking cat, talking, of course, about Gandhi. And I'll let you decide if you want to know that. You can look it up. And Daniel thinks this is at the mansion. So this is probably maybe the mansion having been devastated, destroyed, which We're talking about how many times we've seen Professor X die. I can't even begin to imagine the number of times I've seen the X Mansion destroyed. And then if you want to throw in Avengers Mansion and the Baxter Building / 4 Freedoms Plaza, superhero HQs are probably really tough to insure, Brody. That's what I'm trying to say right there.
You could probably get an umbrella policy of some kind.
Some kind.
Bundle it with your flying car.
Daniel Drew says Hitmonkey should be in Doomsday. Now that would be something. In any case, you can find me on social media at Christian DMZ, my personal podcast, The Blattcast, BLADTCAST. And you can check out a fun show that I do Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel called Who Are These Broadcasters with the great Eric Zane. It also exists as an audio podcast wherever you find those. And if you want to see our most recent episode where you don't have to watch the stream in 2 parts because I guess I showed too many clips from the Golden Globes and the stream was ended by outside forces. The audio version, it sounds great. You have no idea. I even snuck some extra clips in there. And I don't know if this is true. I'll have to ask our buddy Jordan Bloom. MODOK will return in Doomsday. In any case, we'll be back to talk Wonder Man before you know it. But that's all the time we have for now. As the great Stan Lee would say, Excel.